reminder, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can subscribe to me. That would be great. 100 subscribers gets me a custom URL. That's something I really want. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @the_GrantBurton, or you can go to forcedbygrant.wordpress.com for all of my written reviews. And this week I wrote a review for Mission Impossible Fallout, so check that out before I go into the full review now. So, Mission Impossible Fallout. I'm not going to go into spoilers. There isn't much to spoil about this anyway. There's only really 2 or 3 things that could potentially spoil it, and I don't really have anything to say about them 2 or 3 things. Before I actually review the film, I'm going to go through the actual franchise and tell you what I think of them. The first Mission Impossible, I think it was okay for its time, but I think it's dated now. It doesn't really work that well. It's a little slow, a little too serious, and the CGI used in the end sequence really doesn't hold up. Mission Impossible 2, terrible film, just avoid it. And then Mission Impossible 3 got things back on track a little. J.J. Abrams, always reliable. But there's something that just doesn't quite work for me in Mission Impossible 3. I've never been able to nail down what it was. Philip Seymour Hoffman, brilliant in the film. Much more personal storyline for Ethan Hunt. And then Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol came along. And I think that is a brilliant film. It's just a fun, exciting action spy movie. That's what they set out to do, that's what you got. And the scene on the outside the building is absolutely awesome. One of my biggest regrets is not going to see that in IMAX, because apparently that was breathtaking. There were reports of people actually getting vertigo watching it in IMAX. Then Rogue Nation came out, similar to Ghost Protocol. They tried to do something that was fun and exciting, but rather than just being a spy action film, this was very much just a spy film, and it was really good for it. So now we have Mission Impossible Fallout. So I love this film. Mission Impossible Fallout, I think, is absolutely brilliant. One of my favorite films this year, maybe even my favorite film this year, maybe even one of my favorite films of all time. It's darker in tone, much more serious. There is some comedy in there, but it's not as prevalent as some of the others. So here's what it's about, roughly. Basically, Ethan Hunt, on a mission, sacrifices 3 plutonium devices for the sake of his teammate. The rest of the film is about him trying to get these plutonium devices because, well, you don't want bad guys having these devices. They can make bombs after all. And yeah, that's pretty much all the plot is. And there's a lot of influences in this film. It's very similar at times to The Dark Knight, very similar to Spectre and Skyfall. And there's a scene halfway through the film about hijacking of an armored truck, which is ripped right out of The Dark Knight. Even the score is very similar to Dark Knight. I love the score, by the way, in this film. I think it's brilliant. But at times it does veer into being way too similar to Hans Zimmer stuff. And looking at the chat right now, I seen that is saying a lot of opposite things to what I'm thinking, which is fine. You're entitled to your opinion, even if you're wrong. But what else? I like how this film was much more personal for Ethan Hunt. It deals with why he does what he does. It deals with how far he's willing to go, and just him as a character. It's the first time it's really delved into him as making him a human since Mission Impossible 3, and I think it does a really good job of it. The action scenes in this film are brilliant. There's one involving a halo jump, which is really just breathtaking. The fact that Tom Cruise does all of the action scenes is amazing, and it shows because the camera's right up in his face, right there as it's happening. And another scene is the helicopter chase sequence towards the end of the film, which perhaps it goes on a little too long. Perhaps there's actually a couple of action scenes which arguably go on a little too long, but this is just a masterclass in filmmaking, I would say, in pure action filmmaking. If you were to compare it to like a big serious drama film, it probably wouldn't be up there, but it's just a really fun, exciting film. I would say the best of all the Mission Impossibles. And that's about it, without going into spoilers. I will say that the villain in this film is the best in the franchise. He surpasses Philip Seymour Hoffman in my books. Of course, Sean Harris from Rogue Nation returns, so he has the benefit of already having some development. What else have I got written here? Yeah, just a really good film. I recommend you go see it. And that's all I've got planned for the show this week. So if you like what you've seen, you can subscribe on YouTube. Give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that. Leave a comment below. I'll get to it as soon as I can. If you're watching live on Twitch, thank you. I don't know how enjoyable this is. Pretty nervous, I'll be honest. And I'm going to get into the chat after this, see what's going on. But it looks like there's only one person actually talking. So I'll chat with you in a minute. And yeah, follow me on Twitch as well. That helps. Share this across social media. Let people know. If you don't like it, someone else might. And I'm Grant Burton. Twitter, Instagram at @the_Grant Burton. Any support you want to show me would be really appreciated. Until next time though, I'm out.